trees this fall and the cooler weather, and Lord, we just pray you give us wisdom. Father, I thank you for these individuals who serve the community, and we pray that you would give them wisdom and guidance and use of things. Amen.
He's down at Ninth Street Baptist Church at any time. Feel free to come down and visit with him.
Absolutely, that's right, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Now we have pledged the Tennessee flag. Want me to lead that? Pledge. Salute. 3 white stars on the field of blue. God keep you strong and ever true. It is with pride and love that we salute the flag of Tennessee. Thank you. We'll have a little song here. Alderman Lemon.
All right, let's say the pledge, please. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sid, you'd like to call the roll?
Yes, sir. Alderman Day.
Here.
Alderman Lemon.
Here.
Alderman Phillips.
Here.
Vice Mayor Radford.
Here.
Mayor McIntyre.
Here. Okay. I heard a motion to approve the minutes of October 20th meeting.
Motion to approve. Second.
Alderman Day.
Yes.
Alderman Lemon.
Yes.
Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford.
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. Opportunity for citizens to speak. Okay, opportunity for citizens to speak.
I'm Steve Irwin, and I live at 201 Spring Valley Road. And we have a house across the street, it's in a cul-de-sac, and it's a house that Ronnie Snyder used to live in, Jane. They sold it to an older couple that moved into the county from out of state. They were in their 90s, and they lived there for about 2 years. They both died, and all the children live in Florida. It's just being run over. I mean, there's trees growing wild, dead trees falling, and everything like that. It's covering my driveway with pine pollen. I remember when the trees were 6 inches high, now they're just falling off to pieces. Every time we get a strong wind, they break. The house has been broke into about 3 times. There's graffiti painted all over the garage door, the front door, and all that. Animals have been living in the house. I know of 2 people, one that's moved away from our neighborhood. I know another one that wanted to buy the house. And the family said they'd sell it for $380,000 to $400,000. They haven't been up to look at the house or do anything. They let their driveway just get grown over with tree limbs and everything. And even there in the cul-de-sac, my neighbor Doug Bailey and myself, we cut the tree limbs so we could get out our driveways from the trees that are growing on that bank on weekend. So I'm just wondering, is there anything that you all can do? Maybe write a letter to the family and say they need to come up here and do some maintenance on the property if they want to keep it, or that maybe they want to sell it at a reduced rate. Somebody might buy it for the lumber or whatever they're going to go in. It's just an eyesore. And there've been a couple times we had to call the Employee Police up there where young kids had gone up there and were messing in the house and stuff like that. Or as we knew if they were there, we saw them walking up to the house. We called the Employee Police. And we have a neighborhood watch, so we watch after each house sitting there. The cul-de-sac also, it was paved in 1985. It's crumbling. There's a freshwater spring that runs water down my driveway and everything there. So I was wondering why you're there, if you could just look at the cul-de-sac. They paved up to my driveway for the school bus to back up. The cul-de-sac, it's just all the pieces, and it's cracked from it. So, I mean, while you're there, it would, split.
What was that address again?
They live at 202 Spring Valley Road. I live at 201 right across the street from them. So Doug and Kelly is 200 Spring Valley. I think most of you know Kelly over at Jerry Ace a long time ago. His junior was her dad.
We can look into that, kid.
Yeah, I'll look into that, and then there's a couple things about the property that you're talking about, the hazardous conditions.
Yes.
We've got a couple ordinances against it, right, overgrown lot, that sort of thing. So we'll just kind of have to check out and see how dilapidated it really is. There's certain standards and thresholds it has to meet before we can do certain things, right? If it meets a certain threshold of being really deteriorated, we can start something called a slum clearance act, which we just passed earlier this year. We can start that process on that. That's if it's severely dilapidated and causing health hazards and that sort of thing.
Yeah, the front door's been busted in, it won't even lock.
Yeah, so we'll evaluate that. The other thing is we can definitely put citations to the owners, the property owners, for the overgrown lots and that sort of thing, and things that they are in violation of. We can, when you hurt people's wallets, sometimes it'll hurt them in the head too.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a process, well, not maybe, it's definitely a process we'll take. Tomorrow afternoon sometime, I'll ride out there, I'll get pictures, and then I'll get with their attorney here, and we'll see what the next steps need to be.
And if you have the contact information for the
Thank
kids out of state, that would help us too.
Would, because I can certainly send them a letter. I've done it for other properties too.
I just know they live in Florida, I don't even know where they live.
Okay.
I talked to the two people who went to buy the one. And, one of them's on the backside, on the circle behind Street down there. And the other one lives in Tommy Hort's old house, Necklace.
And can I get your phone number too?
Yeah, 423 612 2333. That's my cell number.
Tomorrow evening after I go by and look at that, I'll give you a call, let you know about that road too. We're talking about the state phone car. I'll get some good pictures and we'll all evaluate that after I go up there.
No problem.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank you, Steve. We've got our three commissioners here. Jake, Steve, and Cody. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I mean, all three of you, thank you. This is a special night.
How are you doing?
I think they'd like to speak to us about representation. Is now the time to do that, or do we need to wait for a different? I mean, just as good as any.
Open meeting.
Well, good evening to everybody. Stephen Hendricks, Coach Scott. Thankful to be here this evening with you all. Of course, we're, very grateful to be here, happy to answer any questions around the commission, around the county. We do want to kind of bring you all up to speed on the conversations in tax credit commission level. So, because there's some implications that will be for you all as it comes to the next fiscal year in 2027. We received the interlocal agreements concerning a handful of roads that are being managed by Terry's shop. So there's, I think, 4 roads in particular that Terry's team maintains on behalf of the county for the town of Unicoi. There was a lot of discussion when we received that interlocal agreement last year concerning, in particular, some of the other roads within the county that are not being serviced, and some concerns around Terry's shop in particular. He has a strengthened workforce within his workshop. And so there were some significant concerns expressed, especially by the other commissioners, about some of the roads within the community. And so there was a big discussion around the potential of stepping away from that interlocal agreement and not being able to participate in those particular maintenance of those 4 roads. As the representatives of the 3rd district, we asked for the opportunity to have a conversation first before we simply stepped away from that interlocal agreement. So the interlocal agreement, to our understanding, runs through the end of our fiscal year, which will be June 30th, 2026. And so there is some conversation that has already happened, it's going to continue to happen around continuing that particular interlocal agreement. And so I wanted to make you all aware of that particular item, because I know it'll have some impact for you all moving forward. And so I think I covered most everything out of that. So happy to answer questions or have some conversation with you all either here or at different times. We're also happy to get Terry to come back up here and have a conversation. You all ask us some questions if you have either related to this or anything else that we have.
Okay, now Steve, tell everybody 4 roads.
I think it's Uniform Drive.
It's Unicorn Drive, then let's go with Whistling Pines, Mark.
Yeah.
So then we'll know more when we meet. Is Terry gonna try to come to our next meeting?
If you all, I could certainly ask Terry if he would come to our next meeting to have a conversation with you all about those specific questions.
I can ask, I've got to meet with Terry on Thursday. Some issues on Red Banks Road after the flood, trying to get some access for some folks out there. I got to meet with him on Thursday. And I'll be happy to ask him to come to the meeting, set up another time, whatever we're going to do.
And 2, if you would like for me to come and speak with him at the same time on Thursday, you know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to do that, but
I mean, well, it's not, it's a meeting between, for some folks on the county, maybe having to provide some money
right.
out there, and it's at those folks' land, so, I mean, don't feel like you have to do that. I mean, my opinion would be, you bring all that going on, very well, we can set up, down here, and courthouse, however, but I can ask him to come out here for your guys to see. Everybody's here. Any questions about what he does in maintenance of those roads, you guys can all,
That would be good. And 2, when you're with him Thursday, tell him if he'd like to swing by anytime.
I will.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's been in this for a long time, and I've just been into it for a year.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? I know, you know, me and him sit down, we do pretty good together.
Yeah, I'll sure.
You just tell him, so just give him a call, y'all just sit down and hash it out.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know,
Yeah.
really that's what we need to do. And I think y'all are going to be. Has anybody got any questions they'd like to ask?
So the big takeaway is nothing changes now. Nothing will change through the first of the year. But depending upon the decisions from the commission, there may be a change coming on. 2026, I think we'll make some changes in the budgets. So, but just to make you all aware, as you're thinking through your budget for the next fiscal year, and yeah, so the interlocal agreement, which covers the locating and the software, with the interlocal agreement, so this board would be responsible for the county.
And it's, we don't want this to sound like Terry not going to be available to do the work. Obviously, he does work out here, we're the public. He does after all, where the state law, Terry is required to charge for that work. So that would be the scenario. It's not like he's just gonna, you know, up and say, well, I'm not on those road. It would be similar to the same as any other work. So that, I believe it's 11%. It could be the same, whatever else he has to do. So if something work on the road, it would be just like that.
So the way I took it was, he's been mowing those 4 roads and not charging us.
Correct.
that's what's going to change. Because it's been charged for the secondary roads,
Well, yeah,
but it hasn't been charged for those.
anything outside of those four roads, he would have been, required to charge.
It's definitely good for me and him to sit down and you'll actually pick each other's brains. And I appreciate you calling me today.
Yeah.
Like you said, somebody had to tell me. I mean, it don't matter who tells me, you know, I mean, it's just business.
Right. I will say, too, I think Terry has some suggested ideas too about potential equipment that help offset the cost or other things that could be potentially help save some costs. So I do think we need Terry to talk to this.
Like I said, he's been in it for a long time, you know. So,
Any other questions that we can answer on behalf of the county? Commissioners? We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all very much. All right. Bill Nicholas, if you have questions, let us know.
thank you very much. Okay, is that all the citizens? Okay, now, on old business, we'll have a second reading. Ordinance 344. It's on dog park. Okay? Okay, what is it? Barking dogs. The keeping of any dog which has caused frequent or long continuous noise shall be disturbing comfort or repose of any person in the vicinity is a violation of section 10-101. And, is there any discussion on that?
Need to gavel out with the public hearing.
Okay, any discussion? No discussion? I'll return back to the meeting. All right. That's it.
Need-
Alderman Day.
Yes.
Alderman Lemon.
Yes.
Alderman Phillips.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Ratchford.
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. Okay, got that. Unfinished business, none, other business. All right, we got a discussion on town maps. Seth, you want to take care of that?
Yeah, at the last planning commission, the Board of Zoning Appeals, Corey, your planner from First Instant Development District, brought this as, just something to show you guys the progress that they've been making on the town maps. He anticipates by the end of this fiscal, or this year, not fiscal year, this actual calendar year, that we'll have the maps completely done. So here's kind of just about that. He wanted us to see the way it's gonna look, and it's gonna have like, road segments, like right-of-way widths on that, things like that. This is just something that was discussed at the planning and zoning meeting, and, so just wanted to bring that up to the BMA to show the progress that's being made, Mark, you want to. It'll be right up here if anybody wants to look at what's going on there with the big map.
And now this should have every road up to date.
With their acceptable right-of-way widths and road classification.
We'll have these maps available. They're well considered for everybody. This is a big thing. We spend a lot of time and some money on this, and I have people all the time coming in, where am I at? Or, you know where such and so road's at. You know what, maybe you can't. And there's been a lot of new roads, so this gets us up to date. It's gonna be a good thing. And like I said, we'll have them, we just like a service station map. If anybody can remember those. You can remember, Cage. Okay. That's all good, is it?
Yes, sir.
All right, new business. Okay. The Christmas bonus for the employees. Okay.
Resolved that the Board of Mayor and Alderman hereby wishes to thank all the employees of the town of Unicorn for their efforts to make this town a better place for all citizens. At such time the board deems appropriate, they may approve special compensation for all employees. Having said, the Board of Mayor and Alderman hereby approve Christmas bonus, $200 for full-time employees and $100 for part-time employees. I make the motion that we approve this.
Alderman Day,
Yes.
Alderman Lemon.
Yes.
Alderman Phillips,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford,
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. This resolution was hereby considered, duly considered and appropriated for the Alderman Town of Unicorn this day, 17th November 2025. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see. Austin. Okay, Austin's not with us today. All right, Lisa. She's with the Buffalo Valley Historical Society. They've been having some good get-togethers right there.
Yeah, we had, on our Heritage Day, we had one of the best we've had in a while. We had people from prison, they said they saw it on television, and they came to see what it was all about. We had this from everywhere, and that's unusual. And we ran out of food that day, so that was a good thing. And we had done more food, anticipating, more people, but we still run out. And then on the veterans function, we had around pretty close to 75 people that day. And that's a real good turnout for that. We was getting close to that day. So I think it turned out pretty good. And then we'll have, December the 6th, 47, that's on Saturday. And we'll be doing Christmas, which we have, we have, actually, guys, Andrew Johnson, he will be there. And we'll have Santa Claus, Santa Claus, singing, and the candy came out to the kids around, like, 4, we'll have that, start, so they got, instead of Easter eggs, we did candy canes, they want to take them home. You know, sure, then we'll have a light under the tree up there, and we'll have a special guest there, and you'll have to come,
Thank you, Lisa. Y'all put in a lot of work out there. Go ahead. Thank you very much. Okay. Planning Commission, what do you want?
In the planning commission met on November 3rd, 2025. Under new business was discussion action on roadmap updates. Our First Tennessee Development Agency representative presented the update town map and state, our updated town roadmap, and stated that there was only a change the state had made on Massachusetts Avenue, which was only a small section of the road. The map will be sent to the board of mayor and aldermen, and then it will be presented back to the planning board with all the corrections of each road. Then also the board of zoning appeals met also on November 3rd, under new business, discussion, action, a variance for front setbacks for property located at tax map 00 Group D, parcel 004.00 for Teresa Davis. She presented to the board that she wanted to put an open carport no
Okay, now, Michaela. In the kitchen.
I'm Kayla Brooke, I'm the director of the Mountain Conservation, and I have to report from Kayla. We currently have 33 active proposals, and 6 full of deeper plants. And for our processing, we had 7 processing lines, which resulted in 157 hours. Compared to last year, we are down revenue about $1,000, but that is due to the loss of 185 processing hours. And that's just a result of we went from 2 plants last year to 7 plants. I personally find the times most of the time, so it's just impacted. So we are down to 5 this year, however, month to month, we're getting down, we have dollars from last month, so from September revenue. That can be the result of, we have 2 plants, processing plants that have switched to their seasonal hours, so price changing on it, and then the trucks come down to the quarter, so that is seasonal clients, and then our big producer, is usually uses 4 hours. Kettle is still down, so we don't need to operate. We have given them small storage discounts and offsets. Kettle being down. It's just a small discount there. So those are our revenues. From the tours that occurred in October, we have 2 new clients that joined us in November. We have Little Bug Bakery and Art of Harvest. We have 2 coming on in November. And then on November 5th, we passed our Washington County Health Inspection, with a score of 99. So we are still doing well. In terms of donations, after the hurricane, the town and Mount Carmel became wanted a large amount of food change. We're trying, and a very large amount, in the thousands. So we are trying to use this time to distribute those to local churches and other charity organizations. You know, Thanksgiving's coming up, holidays coming up, if we don't have now, that's when we get all the food. So we are trying to distribute those. Additionally, we need time to apply and come to the price of distribution. We might have to work in 200 ties to community through the Wilson Beaches organization, so Wilson Beaches. Ongoing, still working on the list of repairs, which is, we have the 80-gallon kettle, 10-gallon kettle, 100-gallon kettle, 50-gallon, and of course, smaller items go down as well. I do not have to list the generator going down, the pump meter going out in October, we have a bank repair, so add that into the list. And then some good news is on November 6th, the Union Union contest is the first individual executive association, so we're during that time when the petition was founded. We got her on as a consultant. We want to consider to use that relationship to help us get back on the money. So she did a tour on the 6th, and we want to share work with us on the 14th of November, where we are health-wise, and how we can help us with their work through what she can help pages. And that's all I have.
Okay, when are we supposed to get the new kid?
So I have what I think would be a good solution, that is, I got today, from the sales rep that was the original fellow. That's going to be a good solution. That's the official coming hopefully this week, that we can discuss and see where we allow it. So there might be production if it's production over a few weeks. It's in stock, I am in stock.
We got a 3-year grant. People's not aware of that. How much was that grant for?
But only, page A is allowed for capital investments, so we don't have to pay.
That goes in different categories. things are kind of. Okay, that's, yeah, thank you, McKenna. Now, let's see, the guy's gonna do the park recreation, marketing and communication.
So for marketing, we're just keeping it small and simple right now. So you will see us with a small promotional ad in the basketball section for the details. In terms of parking regs, so last board meeting, there was a discussion about the small applications and specific applications. So that was done, those applications are now reviewed. The fees that are reviewed, these are always passed by the board for earlier meetings. The new fees are available for the and the only other issue is that on applications, we're just going to disclose in October, we had the opportunity to use cameras, participating in people outreach with health. We have trips to students as kind of all the way down and then county families that we upcoming events, so we have a county employee Christmas open house, that will be on December 4th, which is Thursday, which is free lunch, catered by the county high school. It's 8 days ago now. If the mayor's approved, that's it, so we'll be sending those up soon. And just a reminder, the Nazi gallery will be open for that. And then the last item of business is, the Strawberry Festival. It's coming up in May, the 26th. I have voted it Saturday, the 16th, that I'd like to propose to the board for discussion. In addition, we have the Freedom Festival coming up on July 4th with skits, which will be a 200 also ask for discussion on that.
Yes, if you guys are here for those dates, I'll throw all the resolutions for next month, so you can sanction it. That's kind of the same weekends they are always on, and 4th of July is the 4th of July, so.
Thank you. And, the Strawberry Festival, you want strawberries? Okay. That's a good time to ask you, you're here. Yeah.
Is that May date, though, is that?
That's fine, yeah.
Okay, let's see. Chris? Chris is here with police.
The police department, in the last, since the last board member on the meeting, they wanted to under that 2,000 charges to issue 5 citations. We've not had issues with that. You're welcome.
Okay, and this is the report, court report, said.
It looks like for October, Carolyn collected 4 payments totaling $577.50 for citations. Yeah, and before I do have a couple of questions for you guys, just so because it will impact our fiscal plan next year. One of the things is, the salt that we were talking about for the roads, even the salt that we get ourselves, our maintenance crew goes and gets, we get it from Terry, we purchase it from him, we pay for it, right? So is he going to disallow us to be able to continue to purchase salt from him?
I don't see why it would.
No, I don't either, that's why I'm asking.
I don't think that's gonna be the case, and that's kind of the reason we would like to bring Terry out here, because there would be some questions that he's supposed to answer.
Yeah, because I didn't know if we needed to plan on building our own salt silo or anything like that.
No, I don't think that would be the case.
Okay.
You gotta buy it.
We buy it from him.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a little issue with that this time. I'll talk about that in a minute, but,
Right.
that was just one of those fluke things to have a big snow to serve it.
Right.
The other question is, we're talking about the interlocal between us and Terry. And this is just a question I have, I really don't know the answer, and I'm not looking to start a war or anything like that. Do you know currently what his interlocal is with the town of Irwin? Okay, so you say Irwin's doing all their stuff, okay. Because I didn't want to say, are we being targeted and picked on?
Right.
We're gonna cut services to the town of Unicoi, but keep doing it for the town of Irwin, you know, to make sure.
They have their own roads department.
Okay.
That maintains all of it. As far as, I haven't seen an interlocal for them.
Okay. Just something that might come up in the next meeting with you, and that way we go ahead and get ahead of that, so that's not a problem. But, all right, so for my report, first of all, I'd like to give a shout out to Mike Jones for his work on November the 10th. That was the day that we got the big snow. Mike was prepared, determined, and to ensure that the town roads were clear and drivable for the citizens. The snow came fast, and we rely on the county for salt supply. That's why I asked that question. Which created a challenge because the county highway department was closed on Monday in observation of Veterans Day. So Mike and Tony have a good relationship with Terry. So Mike stayed in communication with those folks down there as soon as they had an employee come in to load salt, Mike was down there to load it up in our spreader for the town. Mike stayed late and went above and beyond to make sure the town roads were as safe as possible for travel. So way to go, Mike. You know, he did everything good that day. Tony and Mike have been making considerable progress on clearing lingering Helene debris on town roads and right-of-ways. I don't know if when you pulled in, if you saw the big pile of debris and brush sitting over at the maintenance shed, but that's them from roads that we're still collecting debris on from Helene. Since we last spoke and had a meeting, they've cleared White Cove, Jim Jones, Flying Eagle, Poplar, and Golf Course Road. They're currently on Anderson Chapel, which has proven to be a bear apparently. Sounds like it might be the most cumbersome challenge because Anderson Chapel, as Mark knows, it's a heavily wooded road. So they've spent several days on that road cleaning up debris, still in the middle of that. Please reach out to me if you know of a road that needs a ditch cleaned out while we've got this equipment through the end of the year. On a different note, we finally received our comptroller budget approval letter in October. That was all good, which that also means that now we can make budget amendments. So that'll be happening next month for things like the Bogart-Bowman cabin restoration money that the board's already approved and changes to reflect the Massachusetts fiscal year delays. After I receive the remaining grant funds of $154,169.10. And then the last thing on the city recorder's report is our town audit is currently underway, so that's real fun.
And we got some guardrails. We got some
Guardrails prepared.
Is there any cameras up there on your, there when you turn to go to the farm?
Cameras on.
Yeah, that guardrail keeps getting torn down.
No, you talking about like the cameras we have on the farm or anything? No, we don't have any cameras now. We have cameras, but they're on our property.
Yeah, I told Seth, I said, you need to kind of, I don't know what we're gonna do about that, you know. But those getting destroyed pretty often. But yeah, we just fixed 4 sections of guardrail. We're in bad shape.
Okay. Do they report it to you or anything after they hit the thing or not?
No, they do not. It's, I think the last time they were fixed, as a matter of fact, I think the last time they were fixed right before, we got busy and I think one of the first trucks that went out hit it. So, it is a keep on trucking. So, no, they don't stop us.
Thank you. Okay, financial report.
Yep, I've got some pretty deep information tonight. I'll start with just our general balance sheet overview. Our general fund revenues for October was $181,868. Our general fund expenses, Massachusetts Avenue expenses, $536,117. That meant for the October, the town's was in the negative $354,248.53. That's from our general fund. Year to date, that puts us negative $660,727.18. All this Massachusetts Avenue related. I'll break that down in just a minute. For the Mountain Harvest Kitchen, our revenues in October were $3,762. Our expenses were $6,045, which meant the Mountain Harvest Kitchen was negative $2,282.82 in the month of October. And year-to-date, the Mountain Harvest Kitchen is negative $16,605.61, which Michaela's going to bring us out of this shell. That's the whole goal there. And so now I'm going to kind of break this down for you a little bit. So for Massachusetts Avenue, here's the spending overview that we're looking at. In November of 2024, there was engineering costs toward Massachusetts. I guess this was the initial plan and outlay of what they were going to do on the road down there. It was $25,552.50. And then in March of 2025, there was engineering fees of $2,200. That was like project management costs. In May, that's when the real bills started hitting. That's when we started tacking on the American Environmental, the people who conducted the road down there. In May, we spent $66,505.32 on Massachusetts Avenue. Didn't spend anything in June or July. There were some weather delays and that sort of thing. That's why we're going to have to make some budget amendments. In August, and this is where I said we're starting to see the year-to-date negative effects of Massachusetts, right? So in August, we spent $484,426.65 on Massachusetts Avenue. In September, we spent $359,155.22. And then in October, we spent $378,047.93. And then November, if this was our last payment for Massachusetts, was $2,302.50, which meant that we spent a total on Massachusetts Avenue of $1,318,190.12, mostly coming in this fiscal year to date so far. Committed for the road project, so there's some good news. We had $1,362,230, which meant that we come in under what we committed to the road project by $44,010.18. So that's pretty good. And that's even with the change orders where we had some different road work accomplished. And then the next step here is to talk about kind of where the funding is coming from for the Massachusetts, right? So what I just said, we spent $1,318,190.12 on the actual project. Of those funds, $630,000 is from a CDBG grant. We've received most of that, except for the dollar amount I gave you a while ago that we're still waiting on before I make the budget amendments, about $150,000 that we are still left on that grant. We had ARPA funds left over of $428,639.13. And so that left the town, just our general fund road appropriation that we're using on the road, of $259,550.99. So that's what we as the town, from the money that we receive in our sales taxes, are spending toward Massachusetts, right? And so like I said, the big picture here we're looking at, we're seeing all these negative numbers for the year to date so far. It's because it's all came from Massachusetts. we got hit all at the end of this year, but they did good. They got the job done. So there's that. And I just got one more piece of information for you, and that's where our account balances stand after all this. So nobody freak out. We've got money. There's no problem there. And as of 11/14, our Mountain Commerce Bank checking account had $405,272.15. Our Mountain Commerce Bank savings account had $1,073.64. Our Mountain Commerce Bank drug fund had $7,515.36. Our LGIP ARPA funds, these were what's left after I transferred the money for the Massachusetts project. It's just some interest that's left residual there. $1,333.90. In our LGIP Jack Snyder Endowment Fund, we have $116,957.51, which 15,000 of we've committed to use for the Bogart Bowman cabin. So that'll be coming soon. In our general LGIP Investment Fund, we have $1,279,975.01. And then in our First Horizon Bank money market account, we have $434,642.51, which meant as of 11/14, our total town money on deposit totaled $2,246,770.08. That's financial.
And then we're in the process now of getting bids on striping in Massachusetts.
Sure are. And that, I'm not going to count that as part of it because it's something separate.
Yeah, I mean, we won't make that decision. And then where me and Cody was talking today, that kind of gives you some information on how we've done Massachusetts. You know what I mean? And I mean, think, here's, we got two up here now, it's, I mean, but anyhow, all right, is that it on that?
Yeah, I need a motion to accept.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Alderman Day,
Yes.
Alderman Lemon,
Yes.
Alderman Phillips,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Radford,
Yes.
Mayor McIntyre.
Yes. All right, is there any announcements?
So town offices will be closed on Thursday, November the 27th, and Friday, November 28th, in observation of Thanksgiving. The next Planning Commission / Board of Zoning Appeals meeting will be held on Monday, Monday, December the 1st at 5:30 right here. And then the next BMA meeting will be held 10 days before Christmas on Monday, December the 15th at 5:30 with Terry Haynes, right, for Christmas tree. That's all the announcements I have.
Is that it? Well, is there anyone opposed to adjourn? Todd's awful quiet tonight. He didn't earn his keep tonight. No, I didn't. Didn't that say? Hey, I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
What's going on? What you got? So, just over here, there's a line.